Hi, welcome to my very first YouTube video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I make my TikTok edits, the effects I use the most, and how I make my twixtor and my BCC lens blur. So I've already made the intro, which is just these wiggly PNGs that I found on Pinterest. And my Pinterest is linked in my card, so that can be found on my Instagram if you want these. And the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm going to mark the beats. So to mark my beats, I just use this little button right here. After you've marked all your beats, you're going to want to start finding your clips. So a lot of people have asked me how I keep my good quality on TikTok, and the best way that I can describe it is using 4K scene packs. I get most of my 4K scene packs all from Instagram scene pack accounts, but there are some on YouTube that I have found, but sometimes the quality isn't as good as they say it is. So right now I'm making a Peter Parker edit, and I got these scene packs from One Edits Scene Packs on Instagram. And now I'm just going to find the scenes I want to use. After you find all of the clips that you want to use, you're going to want to make sure the volume is turned off on all of them. By doing this, you can hold down Control or Command on your keyboard and press the volume button on one of them, and it should turn off on all of them. Now after that's done, you're going to want to position your clips to be in the center of your composition. Your composition size may vary. Right now I'm using these composition settings. So and then once you fit the clip to the middle of your composition, about this is where I want mine to be, you right click and then you can pre-compose it. And then you can do this to all the rest of your clips. After you've pre-composed all of your clips, and of course, pre-composing your clips is optional, I just do it because I find it's like a cleaner, sleeker almost look on it, and I don't know, I just feel like it works better on my twixtor settings and the way I have mine set out. But after I do that, I add twixtor to them. As you can see, I have a lot of twixtor presets, so they're used at different times for different clip lengths and stuff like that, but recently I've been sticking to this twixtor preset quite a long time ago, but I made a new variation of it, so I just specified that the speed on this one was 50. So the first thing that I do is I import it. As you can see, all of these things are keyframed just because these things are always consistent with this type of preset that I made, but this is not. The keyframe is not keyframed because it changes depending on which scene pack I'm using of a different person. But in this case, the scene packs that I used are in this keyframe rate. This is how I get my smoothest twixtor outcome, when the input frame rate matches the original frame rate of the clip. This FPS matches this FPS, so that's how I find the smooth outcome. And then as for my twixtor, I'm gonna have a mega folder linked in the description with all of these presets if you're lazy like I am and don't feel like putting the keyframes every single time. This preset works for almost every single clip length unless it's like super short, but I've been working with super short clips recently and they've all worked. I adjusted it so that it works for a lot of different clips, so yeah. But I keyframe all of these, all of the motion sensitivity, image prep, frame, interpret, and smart blend never change throughout the entire video. They're all the same. But for the speed, I start at 180, which is why precomposing it is important, because if you don't precompose it, starting with a keyframe of 180 will mess up your clip. So if you're going to be using my twixtor presets, then you might want to precompose your clip before you apply them. And then after I start at 180, I move 1, 2, 3 frames forward, and I don't really know, and then it is keyframed like at around, it's like an in-between keyframe at around like 140, and then a keyframe after that is 50, which is why there's a 50 over there. And then this is the outcome. She knows what I think about. She knows what I think about. I'm trying to like show you it. And this is the outcome of the twixtor. And this is the outcome of the twixtor. If that is too fast for your clip, you can adjust the keyframe speed, but that's just the setting that I like. I also have a speed of 30 that I will be also including if you don't like it and it's too fast for you. And of course you can just update the keyframes to your own personal preference. One really helpful tip that I learned is that if all of your scene packs are the exact same frame rate, you can just keyframe your frame rate and then copy all of the keyframes like that, and then just paste it onto your other clips. It's twixtor. If that is too fast for your clip, you can adjust the keyframe speed, but that's just the setting that I like. I also have a speed of 30 that I will be also including if you don't like it and it's too fast for you. And of course you can just update the keyframes to your own personal preference. One really helpful tip that I learned is that if all of your scene packs are the exact same frame rate, you can just keyframe your frame rate and then copy all of the keyframes like that, and then just paste it. After I do my twixtor, I usually start in with my VCC lens blur. As you can see, I have quite a bit of presets for that as well, but this is one that I actually found. I don't know where it came from. I'm trying to find out so I can give the proper credit to this person, but I found it and then I adjusted it a little bit to my preference after I found out some other better things that I can do to make it look smoother. And then it turns out like, and this one has an opacity fade out keyframed into it, so it looks something like this. This is the one I've been using on almost all of my edits, except for when the clip is longer. When the clip is longer, such like this one, I'll use this other preset. And then depending on the length of the scene, I will extend the keyframes a little bit and then mess with an opacity fade out. It looks something a little bit like this. honestly, that's all I really do. Everyone always asks me how I make my TikTok edits, and that's all I do. I just mess around with keyframes and speeds and graphs until I come up with something that I think looks good. And then eventually I just am like, and then I just decide on if it looks good or not, and then if it doesn't, I'll change it. That's all I really do. I don't really do anything special. And then after I finish with the velocity, it all is basically based on the, you know, just tweaking some things like the intro. I put, like, since these are all like kind of an overlay type thing, I just put this on like that on all of them so that I can put a background. Everyone always asks how I do this like gradient type background, and all I do is I use a gradient ramp, which is an effect that does not require a plugin. All it is just an effect that comes with After Effects. If you type in gradient ramp, it will pop up. And I just put I put this one of the little points at the top, and then I put one at the bottom, and it just works. And then the edit that I'm remaking had snow in it, and I have snow presets, so just like that. And then because I feel like it, drop shadow on all these little wiggle things. And then I think the last one had a little zoom out to it. Like just a zoom out, and then to do this, I just add blur mode curves. You can use scale, and I'm pretty sure you could use the exact same graph and it would look exactly the same. I just like blur mode curves because it comes out smoother in my opinion. And then this is just my graph for the little zoom out.
You and those little high-waisted shorts. Oh, she knows what I think about.
And after I'm satisfied with the edit, I will pre-compose all of it all into one big pre-composition, and depending on if there's a voiceover or not, I'll mute or leave it unmuted, and then I'll add a solid layer underneath the composition, because when you don't add a solid layer, your watermark gets all like, it fades out with the clip, and it's like one of my biggest pet peeves. I hate it so much. So I put a solid layer, and then I'm just gonna add my watermark. This is probably one of my biggest asked questions ever. What font is my watermark? It's called Ransom Note, and I just found it on defont.com. I just make it an overlay like this, and then I add drop shadow to it, and that's it. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. Bye!